exciting, entertaining, energy, and epic. Sal's NBL, rated E. All games live on Sky Sport.
Set off on a journey down the UK's tranquil canals and learn to live life on the narrow.
Would you still live in a house?
No.
Narrow Escapes, Sundays 7:30 on Living.
I enjoy finding a dream home for the client.
Yeah, you can imagine yourself relaxing out here, couldn't you?
I absolutely love it. It is just a beautiful place to live.
Sun, sea and selling houses. Weeknights 7:30 on Living.
I know you're thinking, what's with the monkey? I'm Robbie Williams. I've always seen myself a little less evolved.
Bitter Man, now showing on Sky Box Office. Box Office.
Sport is about the defining moments.
Spines tingling.
Be there to watch them all unfold with your home of sport.
This is where you get goosebumps on every arm and a tear in every eye.
The out-of-this-world plays.
Absolutely brilliant.
The fierce rivalries. The last-second heartbreaks.
It all happens in the blink of an eye.
Be there for the agony.
Unbelievable. Now the pressure really cranks up.
Be there for the euphoria.
Just incredible.
Be there for the moment when history is made.
New Zealand are the champions.
Be there for the moments that matter.
Can you believe what you just seen? Sensational! Team! Sensational! And in your life, have you ever seen anything like it?
Sky, your home of sport.
Are people born wicked? Or do they have wickedness thrust upon them? You're green.
I am. Welcome, new students, to Shiz University, Miss Elphaba. You can room with Miss Galinda.
Oh, popular. I know about popular. Oh, I saved you some space, by the way.
Do you really think this is fair?
I do not.
Wait.
But thanks for asking.
Please, everyone take your seats. In today's Oz, a real sorcerer who possesses true magic has become all too rare.
Absolutely remarkable.
That was you who made all that happen. How did you do it?
I don't know. I've never known. You. Come with me.
Of course.
Not you. You. You're the one the wizard has been waiting for.
Galinda?
Ew. I know. It's my granny's. I'd give it away, but I don't hate anyone that much.
Hey.
You should join us tonight. And don't tell me you have nothing to wear. Because you could wear this.
Something has changed within me.
She doesn't give a twig what anyone thinks.
Something is not the same.
Of course she does. She just pretends not to.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz summons you to the Emerald City. Come with me.
What?
To meet the wizard.
Why couldn't tell me? This is your moment. I'm coming.
The great and terrible.
Something bad is happening in Oz.
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
You have no real power.
That's why I need you.
Don't let her get away! This wicked witch.
I'm not afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
Wicked, now showing on Sky Box Office.
They've made in a year from that Scotland game even last year. It's just a transformed team, and credit to Scott Bennett and the rest of the coaches, but all of the squad that are involved. Just to see them grow like this in a World Cup year has been hugely encouraging.
You've been in a lot of big changing rooms and a lot of big upsets and big occasions in Irish teams. What's the energy like in those moments?
Yeah, look, I think they'll have taken great energy from that first half and what they produced, how tenacious they were defensively. They will have to have tried to fix something at scrum time. Fogarty would have been in there trying to help Niamh O'Dowd out, because she is on a card warning now at this stage.
We've had 40 great minutes of rugby. Can we have another 40 more? The restart is sloppy and Anna McGann spills it forward. And England rumble their way up towards the 22 with Maud Muir. Big energy from England to start the second half, and Botterman distribution's been really good so far today. And on the outside goes Jess Breach towards the corner, and it looks like England might have started the second half in style. What is the call? We're going to have a look, Fiona.
Chairman check. So my unfair decision is try. So under the doubt of touch. We need to check, please.
So does Jess Breach
so
go into
on-field
touch?
try, checking touch.
Ooh, that left foot.
Freeze frame by frame, possibly. But that's serious intent by England at the start of the second half. Some punchy carries and then flying the ball into the wider channels to Jess Breach. Just see here.
We're looking at that left boot.
Yeah, I think it crosses the line.
I think that skims the line just before that ball's grounded. Let's hear what.
Just freeze before when the feet is on the line. Yeah.
The other angle they need to be looking at.
It's the one we saw earlier.
Yeah, the back on
Got a pretty good view of it. Here we go, this is it. And does Amy Lee Costigan manage to just pull that left leg over?
Yeah.
And that is in touch.
Clear touch.
Yeah,
And the
Aurelie.
try is going to be chopped off.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
And
So it's not try.
after a nervy start to the second half, Ireland live to fight another day, but they still need to get out of their own territory here, Fiona.
Yes, yeah.
An ominous start to the second half from England, though.
Just look how dangerous and how easy they were to get the ball to that wider channels and a bit of space, and they do have unbelievable speed out there in their back three.
Your gap is here. It's coming.
Ireland have really slowed down the line out in the opening half. At this time, Wall doesn't manage to retain it and was just knocked out. The hand of
White.
it would have been Zoe Aldcroft, just managed to get in
White
there
on
up
me.
ahead of Wall.
Great work from Aldcroft there.
White. Move back, please.
It's not just the timing, it's decision when to go, and her lifters really pushing her in front of Dorothy Wall there, putting her under huge pressure.
Second time around, Ireland do get it though, and get it out to Dan O'Brien and Owen. Sloppy passing. It's just gone to ground, but I think knocked backwards from Aoife Wafer, and Ireland are going to be able to hold on. It's a little frantic from Ireland to start the second half, but Wafer back on her feet. Just trying to create the angle for Ireland to exit. Niamh O'Dowd now. And this time Lane goes back to Dan O'Brien's left foot. And it's going to stay in, it's not going to find touch. And Abby Dow to Ellie Kildun. And England stopped just outside the 22, but more defending for Ireland to do here, and it's Maud Muir rumbling her way towards the post. Well stopped though by Stacey Flood, but the ball, I thought it was quick coming for England. It's turned over incredibly by Eve Higgins, and Ireland have it back again, and this time Stacey Flood's taking no chances, drives it down. It's long and on. Costigan and Flood are chasing Ellie Kildun down, but Kildun gets to it, and she's going to run it right back, and she finds a gap, and Dorothy Wall does brilliantly to stop her. Because I think if she'd found that gap, she was straight in under the sticks. Tatiana Hurd, England starting this second half like a steam train coming at Ireland. And Botterman, I think it was just a shoveled pass on. It was an easy read for the Irish defence. And Wall and one other, I think, just about managed to force that knock on. Dan O'Brien's keeping this one in field. A high one for Kildun, who judges it comfortably. and just shoves Aoife Dalton off, but the tackle coming in from Erin King.
Stop!
Oh no, it wasn't Erin King, I should say. And Niamh Jones just overruns that race, reads it too well if anything, but it's just put England off. And Lark Atkin-Davies spills forward. And after a pretty nervous and edgy first couple of minutes of the second half, I think those couple of phases might have settled Ireland down a bit.
Yeah, just brilliant here from Eve Higgins. Maud Muir on a brilliant break, and she just managed to get in.
On the ball.
But just the decision making, Ireland are obviously giving players like Niamh O'Dowd license to shoot, to try and get in those passing channels. And England aren't reacting to it. They're still passing and making those really difficult to catch, or really poor pass, player not running. Well, to be honest, she probably should have caught that one. But it's that indecision, the time when to go. You're readjusting your run because Niamh O'Dowd is up in their line of sight.
You lose your front row union card when you're blaming hookers for dropping balls like that, Fiona.
I've lost that long ago.
So the first test of what Ireland have been able to do scrum-wise at half-time. There's not really much you can do in a changing room.
I'm fine.
But important to see if Ireland can do anything to lock this down. 4 scrum penalties against Ireland in that opening half, among 8 in total.
We need to
It's a little bit messy.
It's close to the mark. Thank you.
What are the options, Fiona, if it doesn't improve early on in the second half? You have Christy Haney on the bench, who I know is a tight head but has that experience. Linda Jungang has played at Lusa down the years a little bit. Do you bring on Christy's experience and move Linda across?
Yeah, I think that probably would be their first sort of thought, you know, obviously.
And another penalty. And Niamh O'Dowd sprints away from that scrum because she knows she's been giving a talking to, and it is going to be a yellow card.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's Niamh O'Dowd. It was inevitable, really, with the way the first half was trending.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit risky. I thought we might have seen that change at halftime because she was on the yellow card warning. Obviously offers so much around the pitch, you know, in terms of defence, line speed, but just can't have that, giving away those penalties, and then now find ourselves down to 14 players.
And a big challenge to see how Ireland respond and how England can try turn the screw against Ireland with this player advantage over the next 10 minutes. They'll off the ball there from Aoife Wafer and her opposite number, Alex Matthews, but Wafer puts her hands up, apologises as ever so slowly, inch by inch, the England maul starts to just work its way further and further into the Ireland 22. And broken away comes Hunt. The grubber kick really wasn't on from Tatiana Hearn, and it's gone straight into an Irish hand, and an opportunity for Dana O'Brien to just hoot this one out of play. And that's another excellent kick and a brilliant bounce, and it gets Ireland up towards the halfway line.
Super kick, but some of the decision making from England is not what you expected.
A little tip-on pass to Meg Jones, and all of a sudden England have space and they have numbers, and Kildunn finds breach, and the grubber through, and Ellie Kildunn is not in. Oh, she just couldn't get her hands on it, and the Irish cover came from Aoife Dalton and Amy Lee Costigan. And England must be wondering what more have they got to do.
Look, the option was certainly on there for her, for breach to kick through. Definitely the right option.
Oh,
really good nudge. Great tracking back from Dalton. I think it was the pressure she put her under that forced her to knock on.
A lesson from Aoife Dalton that there's no such thing as a lost cause, because whatever she did just about disrupted the great Ellie Kildunn, the World Player of the Year. But after the goal line restart, England again come back at Ireland. Erin King making the tackle on Hannah Botterman, but the hands in the ruck there from Ireland. And it's going to be an England penalty right on the 22, straight in front of the post. Do England go for 3, Fiona?
Look, I suppose...
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, they're not going to. They're down, Ireland down to 14 players, but the way that it's gone for them, probably should be taking their points. Oh, scrum, okay, fair. That's an all right call, we'll accept that. So Ireland obviously have to take a player off to put on a prop.
Time is off.
And it's going to be Siobhan McCarthy coming on. Scott Beamond is backing McCarthy, relatively inexperienced campaigner. Siobhan McCarthy coming on. We're yet to see which Ireland player is going to come off. Ireland are going to have to drop down another player, and it's going to be Fiona Chute, who's slipping off for the next 5 or so minutes. So
Brittany Hogan will go into the second row. Yeah, McCarthy, very little international experience, but also front row experience. And he recently enough moved in there.
Made her debut back against Australia in that first game before the WXV. Has been ever present since then, albeit always on the bench behind Niamh O'Dowd. But the biggest experience she's going to get in her Test rugby as England break down the blind side, and it's Tatiana Hurd. This time she keeps the ball in hand, and eventually she's brought down. Allcroft now as Wall makes the tackle, and Brittany Hogan looks to slow that down. She's told to leave it be. Hunts now. Out to Harrison. Tabea. And Hurd has that ball gone forward. It looked like Jess Breach just about held on to it. Again, England come back. Just one out runners now. It's simple stuff. It's Botterman coming up towards the line. Dalton making the tackle. But England are just starting to send Ireland backwards as Aoife Wafer comes up on Allcroft. And now Alex Matthews. England within 2 meters of the line now. They've got the numbers out on this near side, and they look to use them, and they step inside, and eventually they do get their try. And it's Zoe Harrison who has got England's second try of the game. She turns 27 on Monday. It's an early birthday present, and England extend their lead.
That's more like it from England, using those big ball carriers, punching holes, putting the Irish defence on the back foot. Well held there by Jess Breach. It's when they come back the far side, they use the big ball carriers. Then Botterman decides to go out the back door. See, Dalton had come up, and there was a dog leg between Dalton and Flood there that Harrison sliced through.
And Harrison knocks over the extras. And England move out to a 14 points to 5 lead with half an hour to play here. And it was a beautiful hands from Hannah Botterman in the build-up to it. She's thrown a handful of lovely little tip-on passes. I suppose when you have a player of that size and physicality, to have that extra layer to be able to do it. I mean, the amount of defenders you occupy with it.
That's the thing, it's drawing the defence into you that creates the gap for the other people, and then have this skill execution to give those soft hands, whether it's off the shoulder or out the back to a back.
And
let's go, 10.
Dan O'Brien sending a few people out towards the right. That's where she's going to go. Sending long into the 22 for Ellie Kildun to clear. And that's going to go out of play. And it's going to be an Irish line out just under 10 metres inside the English half of the pitch.
Yeah, it's your
Still a little while to go on the line out. Is the task for Ireland just to try slow down the pace of this, try get a bit of air back in the lungs and take a bit of the sting out of England.
Yeah, and good decision there just to go short to the front, not go up, allow England to compete.
And don't commit to that ruck and allow Ireland have it. And Jones throws it back. Fast England line comes up. Dan O'Brien stalls on it though and gets swallowed up by a couple of England players, but just about manages to get it back. And Stacey Flood had eyes for the kick straight away. It was straight down the chest of Kildun, who just let it hit her. It was really smart play. And another good kick, which is just going to trickle away down into the 22, but O'Brien is there covering. Outside of the left kick, long and on. And some back and forth kicking, this time chipped over the top. The bounce almost caught Aoife Dalton out, but she's done really, really well and wriggles away from the first tackle and gets through a half gap. And the crowd are getting on their feet here. England might have taken the lead over Ireland, but the crowd are still giving their all. It's a pretty healthy crowd out here, and a penalty for Ireland as well. Botterman penalised. No clear release is the call. John Mitchell looks a bit frustrated at that penalty.
It'd be nice to see that again, because obviously she feels hard done by from the first half, where she thought she was in twice over the ball.
Aoife Dalton, still only 21, but just a cool head back there chasing the ball. Maybe let it bounce a little once more than she might have hoped for, but read it well and eventually just...
Substitution, substitution.
And England bringing on their version of the bomb squad. We've got an all-new front row, I believe. Yeah, Amy Cockayne, Kelsey Clifford and Sarah Byrne all coming on. Hannah Botterman, Lark Atkin-Davies and Maud Muir making way. There's one more there as well. Lucy Packer is on and Natasha Hunt is coming off.
Yeah, look, Ireland scrums under pressure, and then you see the likes of Amy Cockayne and Sarah Byrne coming on. Amy has 81 caps, Sarah has 68.
Straight away they contribute to a recovered or stolen line out for England as Hurd flips it on, and again now they get it out to Kildone, and now the gaps are forming, and Abby Dow is racing down this touchline. Hurd flips it on, and again now they get it out to Kildone, and now the gaps are forming, and Abby Dow is racing down this touchline. She's got Meg Jones inside, and that's how devastating England can be. They're starting to pull clear, and it's a costly yellow card for Ireland. 2 tries in that time, and England are just starting to flex their muscles now. They lead Ireland by 19 points to 3. Meg Jones, the try scorer.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, super pass from Meg Jones to put it into the wider channels first and foremost, and then great support on the inside. Good timing from Abby Dow, when to pass it back to Jones.
You need to. Yeah, I speak. Yeah. No, thank you. So,
it's just a great step out to Kildone, drawing in Stacey Flood.
I speak.
And away they go.
I know. Okay.
Harrison
I speak every time. Yeah, I understand.
made her first 2 conversions. She's 3 out of 3, and England move out to a 21 points to 5 lead. 25 minutes left to play in Cork. How do Ireland lift themselves for these final 25 minutes, Fiona? Because after such a brilliant first 40 minutes, the last thing you want to happen now from an Irish point of view is for heads to drop and the score to essentially become unreflective of what we've seen so far in this game.
I think that's the important thing, not letting those head drops. Take confidence from that first half, the defensive shift, try and build that energy back into their game. They'll need a few big moments, whether that's a turnover, a big hit.
And O'Brien's restart again taken by Kildone. Emily Lane with the tackle. There's a few Irish subs warming up in front of us. Aoibhinn Riley about to come on, Grace Moore as well, and Niamh O'Dowd ready to come back on. As an excellent tackle from Eve Higgins there, and Amy Lee Costigan follows up. But you can see the energy now from England with those forward reinforcements and Lucy Packer on at scrum half. Just moving the ball a bit quicker. And Harrison now sends that one up high, landing in the middle, and Stacey Flood let that one bounce. Dan O'Brien's back recovered and back into the hands of Flood with that left foot. Taking just straight into the hands of Abby Dow.
Retreat!
And back to O'Brien. Doesn't get the length on it this time. Straight out. It's going to be an English line out. Just under 10 minutes inside 10 metres inside the Irish half of the pitch. The sin bin is up. Niamh O'Dowd is back on. Grace Moore and Aoibhinn Riley also coming in. You see Emily Lane heading off the pitch. And Siobhan McCarthy is also going to make way. So Grace Moore is on in place of Fiona Tuite, who's going to stay off for the remainder of this game. As England reclaim the line out. Harrison almost spills it, and Hurd back for Harrison, and Aoife Dalton just about manages to get her down to the ground. Packer down, breaking down the blind side, and Hurd just bouncing off 2 challenges into the hands again now of Kelsey Clifford. England want a 4th, they want their bonus point try, and Niamh O'Dowd, she might be going off again. She's just taken a huge hit, bounced in the challenge. And Ireland are starting to tire now. Not Aoife Wafer though. He gets Packer to ground, and Brittany Hogan trying to compete at the ruck, but England have that ball back, and it's Sarah Byrne standing in as a scrum half, and gets flipped out towards the left touchline where Jess Breach is brought down. It's a knock on. That's going to be an Irish scrum. And I think we might have a little bit of a delay here. Niamh O'Dowd is down getting a little bit of treatment. She looked in a lot of pain as soon as she tried to take on that tackle.
Huge carry from Allcroft here. She just bounces her. Probably poor technique in terms of she had her head across the body of Allcroft. Great work here from Anna McGann.
Just forces the knock on there.
We have a penalty for you. So I'm waiting for the mark. Yeah.
Packer certainly brought bigger tempo to this English team since she's come on. Moving the ball away as quickly as possible, trying to get those backs firing.
And Niamh O'Dowd is going to come off. Whether it's a HIA or a...
We have a lifting playing out. It's a penalty
or a permanent
against
substitution. Siobhan McCarthy is back on for Niamh O'Dowd. And we're going to come back. It's going to be a penalty for Ireland.
Yeah, here we have a lifting in the work.
It's confirmed it is a head injury assessment for Niamh O'Dowd.
Yeah.
So we may see her back in the game, but it is going to be a penalty for Ireland here.
Yeah.
15 metres inside their own half. It's a tip challenge at one of the breakdowns. And an opportunity for O'Brien to get Ireland back into the English half. And for the first time really in the second half, put Ireland into an attacking position.
I think that yellow card just so costly. Just gave the tempo back to England, that energy back to England.
%70 possession for England in this second half so far. Sums up the way this game has gone, and that line out has gone astray again. And another chance of an attack comes to nothing for Ireland, and Meg Jones is starting to come alive in this game. Gets the ball offloaded, and Abby down this near touchline. Alex Matthews just about to get out of the way, and the recycle again. And now Zoe Harrison's found half a gap, and it's back to Meg Jones, who's been destroying Ireland in this second half. Packer gets to recycle quickly, shifts it on. The numbers are there for England. They don't need them though. They're going route one, and Sarah Byrne is over, and England have their bonus point try. It's just relentless, Fiona.
Yeah, they're playing just at such tempo now. Ireland tired from that first half defensive display, but as I said, Packers brought new speed and energy to it. Meg Jones is coming into it a lot more. I don't know how many touches she had on it in the lead up to that try, and then the likes of Sarah Byrne just absolutely bulldozing through two players there, and it looks a bit ominous. As I said earlier, the bench, I just think England's bench can add more, and you look at it even in the backs to come on. You have the likes of Aitchison and Rowland as well.
As Harrison knocks over that conversion, her fourth of the day, England's lead moves out to 28-5. Will Sarah Byrne have a new TikTok dance after that one, Fiona?
I've no doubt that she will. She's certainly making a name for herself on TikTok, which I'm not on, so it's just all the other stuff that I see after she's on TikTok.
Her second try of the championship on her 69th cap.
To be fair, there's been so much made about that TikTok. To be honest with you, she's just appealing to her fan base, and it's working for her.
Well, look, whatever grows the game,
10, please.
because the numbers are coming in, and this is as big a year as we're ever going to have in this.
Oh, it's brilliant.
3 more changes for Ireland. Cleana Maloney coming on, Nicole Fowley and Vicky Elms-Kinlan. Vicky Elms-Kinlan making her Six Nations debut as Niamh Jones, Dana O'Brien and Anna McGann leave the pitch. A word for Dana O'Brien, Fiona, because you spoke about her defence in that opening half. She's played every minute up until now in this championship, but these were probably her 60 best minutes so far.
Yeah, look, I probably would have questioned her defence in games gone by, but I thought she was on point today, coming up hard, making the hit, sitting in the tackle. I thought she was really good, and some of her kicking was absolutely outstanding, which we've come to expect from her. I'd say it's a decision to take players off now, because conscious that they have Wales away next week, followed by Scotland away, so there's no other rest week in this championship, so preserving a little bit of energy for those 2 games that are winnable for them.
Lovely little short little line out, but it's read well by England and Zoe Allcroft, and Aoibhinn Riley does really well to hold on to it. in the face of a considerable size difference against Aldcroft. She gets trapped in there. There's an England body on it. It's going to be an Irish penalty. And now they'll try to get down into the English 22. Nicole Fowley, as we said as well, on for her first game of the championship. Ireland moving to a 5-3 bench split, which has kind of opened the door for her to come back in after Enya Breen had served as the extra back in the opening couple of games of the championship. It was Alex Matthews in the end who just didn't get out of the way. Trina Maloney, who made her debut against England 10 years ago at the Stoop in Twickenham. Just a lack of communication there, and it's spilled forward off Aoife Wafer's hands, and potentially a knock on there from England, but we're going to play on.
Advantage over, foot knock on.
Advantage over, you can hear, as Meg Jones goes to ground, and England shift the ball on. Oh, this is brilliant from England now. And Abby Dow is racing clear. She stepped inside Stacey Flood. She's tackled well, though, by Vicky Elms-Kinlan. Her first action in Six Nations rugby. But here comes Sarah Byrne now, and England are really rumbling. And Hurd, and that's just a poor knock-on under no pressure.
Advantage. Ball is green, is knock-on advantage.
The advantage is there for Ireland, knock-on advantage, but they're not able to get that ball out quickly and really counter-attack. Linda Dugang getting nudged out of the way, and you can see the energy levels are starting to fade ever so slightly, and England's are kind of growing as this game is moving on. And Fiona, is this, I suppose, the difference in the gap between these two teams, that a side like England so far down the road, they have that extra experience, they have that extra fitness, and they're able to keep those levels going for further on in the game.
Time off.
Yeah, I'm not sure about fitness. I think you can make teams as fit in a certain time, and I think this Irish team's fitness has certainly improved and is at a really good level, but I think it's the introduction of subs, the pace that England are now playing at. Ireland had to do so much defending in the first half. While it gave them energy, you can't keep going defending for so long. It just keeps zapping your body, and yeah, as I said already, I think the bench impact was always going to be too much from England's perspective.
3 changes for England there as well. Rosie Galligan, Maddie Funati and Holly Atchison on.
Crouch!
Coming off our Sadia Kabaya.
Bind!
And
set!
we also have Alex Matthews. Sorry, I should say it's Tatiana Hurd also off as well. And finally, a scrum penalty for Ireland. Cliona Maloney has a little smile as she walks away from that one. And it gives Nicole Fowley an opportunity to get Ireland out of their own half. And she does so. As we see there, 5 scrum penalties to 1. It's been a tough game with the set piece, but
time off. Ireland
will have learned a huge amount. Time off, just a... England, Zoe Aldcroft is just down getting a bit of treatment. Taking on an energy gel and a drop of water.
Can you say set louder? I think I don't think the sets we didn't get a push, so that's probably what caused it down.
We can just see the numbers there in terms of attack, Fiona. 106 carries from England to Ireland's 58, but just look at the meters made. 817 in comparison to 284. I mean, Ireland they've held their own really in a lot of respects, but I would imagine a huge amount of those stats as well are from the second half.
Yeah, like Ireland had big moments when England made breaks in the first half and just haven't been able to replicate that as much in the second half, that England are getting those meters.
Into the final quarter and Ireland in possession, and just inside their own half as that England defensive line shoots up so fast, but really well played to get the ball out wide to the edge to Elms-Kinlan. But the England defence manages to scramble across. The speed of that line again is just catching Ireland behind the gain line. It's Linda Dugang who's doing her best to wriggle her way to the ground. And shooting up. And it's forced the knock-on from Siobhan McCarthy, I believe it was. And now England again are looking to shift this and get their counter-attack going as the kick goes in behind from Zoe Harrison. And just sat up perfectly for England, and Amy Lee Costigan's done brilliant to even eke out 5 metres and get Ireland a little bit further away from their own try line. As Fowley drops back, she's going to look to to clear the lines, but Ireland just trying to create a little bit of an angle first.
Yes, play on.
Let's play on. And England have it turned over, and the numbers are outside if they can just get the ball out. The tackle comes in from Aaron King, and it's a penalty for Ireland. Oh, huge effort. And Aaron King just about manages to scramble in when it looked like England had I'm going to say a 3 or 4 on 1 to walk in a 5th try.
Yeah, super work from her, and also Vicky Ann's killing before that on the goal line, getting those extra 5 metres. But I don't know how England managed to turn that ball back over, but credit to Aaron King.
And Fowley drives this one out of the 22. As we see the turnover there, it was, I suppose, McCarthy, it was Cliona Maloney almost got in the way and left the ball available to be stolen. Look at those tackles for Ireland. Look at those tackles made today. The top 5 All-Ireland: Brittany Hogan with 17, Erin King, Aoife Wafer, Dorothy Wall and Niamh Jones all in there. A lot of double figures in there. That's a crooked throw, and the pressure is continuing to come. Probably what Ireland wouldn't have wanted either.
Just a 1 player lift there from England, so crooked throw from Ireland. They've tried to be creative, Ireland. They've gone quick to the front with no lift. Worked one, it actually worked twice, but once it got knocked on as it went back to the scrum half.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Straight to ground, and we're going to have to go again. And I suppose at the very least, Siobhan McCarthy's in there, probably giving the referee a different picture at the very least, Fiona. Sometimes, you know, a change is as good as actually kind of fixing it.
And Cliona in there as well with a huge amount of experience in terms of the support that she can give Siobhan McCarthy as well.
But still up against an enormous amount of experience in that English front row. As I said, Amy Culcaine, a hooker, 81 caps to her name, and Sarah Byrne as well. And
set!
Again, that's gone down. And it's a penalty advantage for England, and they're going to try move this one.
Space there, she pulls it back a little bit too far behind Ellie Cundun, who just manages to hold on to it and then make yards with it.
Time off, sub. 11.
One more England change. Helena Rowland is going to come on, and Jess Breach will be
No, we have 11
called off to take a rest. And Eva Dowd is going to come back in as well. She's passed her head injury assessment, and she'll come back in.
17.
For the second time this afternoon, Siobhan McCarthy's going to jog back off. She might need to stay warm though. And that's the last change for England.
Time on!
Helena Rowland, as I said, on for Jess Breach. And off the top goes Alex Matthews, rumbling towards the line. Ireland stopper just short, but the gaps are there, and again they go, and it's Aldcroft. England now just 2 metres short. Erin King is under it, but England are over the line, and it's a try. The try is given. And England's class is starting to tell. And Sarah Byrne has her second.
Damage done by Alex Matthews on the carry that she took the ball. She sucked in numerous Irish defenders, and it's just that power.
Low to the ground, Sarah Byrne, 3 yards out, gets her hand down onto the ground as well, and it's going to be so hard to stop her from there, despite the best efforts of several Irish players. And Harrison straight in front of the post. 5 out of 5, perfect kicking day for her. And England's lead now moves out to 35-5 as we head down in towards the final quarter of an hour. Third try of the game for the brilliant Sarah Byrne. Oh, how you'd love to have the options of that, picking between a Maud Moore and a Sarah Byrne.
Yeah, and they just it doesn't matter which one starts, or you know, they're just devastating both at set piece and then around the park as well, in terms of their physicality and dynamism and brilliant handling skills as well.
And Fowley's driven that one, and she's driven it low and didn't quite connect, and it's gone the whole way through. And probably the last thing Ireland wanted was another scrum on halfway, but that's what they're going to have to face into. And with 10 minutes to go, it is vital Ireland probably don't switch off, because coming into this game in the opening couple of matches, England have done most of their scoring in the final 10 minutes of the games. 25% of their points, or 22% of their points scored in the last 10 minutes of a match. Ireland have conceded 25% of their points in the final 10 minutes of the match. Given we've had such a competitive game for a good chunk of this, the last thing you want to see is the scoreline starting to get away.
Yeah, look, it's when teams tire and they bring the bench on, but they get energy from scoring tries, and then they just seem to steamroll through. Be careful here if they talk to Niamh O'Dowd again. No, talking to England.
So before it's the other side, so now it's your side. Okay, we stay high.
It's been a chastening day for the Irish front row, but still have 10 minutes to stick it out. As we hear for the first time this afternoon at Fields of Athenry. We think we're getting around 7,000 people in here this afternoon, Fiona, and they've made themselves heard.
Look, a record-breaking crowd for an Irish venue, for an Irish women's team, was really impressive.
And it's happy.
And they get it out to Abby down the right wing. Costigan, though, wraps her up, gets her to ground. Dorothy Wall shoots up now and meets Galligan behind the gain line. Out towards Matthews. Packer towards Telling. And Rowland now out to Harrison. The ball doesn't go to hand though, and it's picked up loosely by Maddie Finati. And back to Ellie Kildun, and it's starting to get a bit loose. And Kildun has pricked the ears back and has dived under the post. And England are really flexing their muscles now. 6 tries and a first of the day for Ellie Kildun, the World Player of the Year. Her 40th try in Test rugby on her 51st cap. And England are pulling their way further and further clear with a conversion to come. It's now 40 points to 5.
Yeah, look, she just sees 2 front rows there and glides through. She just slices like she's slicing a hot knife through butter, and there's disconnects in that Irish defence now. She identifies it, and then it's the power and pace that she goes at.
Okay.
One more conversion from Zoe Harrison. As Ireland go for 2 more substitutions. Christy Haney is on, and as is Ruth Campbell. Dorothy Wall making way for Campbell. And Linda Dugang's day is over. Another tireless 70-minute shift from Dugang. 6 carries, 10 tackles.
Time on!
And as we said, had to deal with a lot in that scrum. Siobhan McCarthy, the only player left on that bench, but as we said, we have seen her a couple of times so far. And a lengthy clearance. And it's just Nicole Fowley just stalling over it a bit. Hands it off to Flood, and Ruth Campbell leaves it, and Amy Lee Costigan can't get her hand on it. And it's gone out of play. And it's been a tough second half for Ireland, Fiona, but I know we still have a few minutes left to go. What do you take out of this heading towards the final couple of weeks?
Over 15?
Look, it's a hard one, and I think the scoreline's not going to be true reflection of how much this Irish team has
and more
improved.
Defending to do here, and Kildun, well, that's an excellent stop on the touchline from Stacey Flood, and Aoife Dalton has got her hands in there. Eventually it comes, England given a lot of time to get that one away. Kildun is staying down though. Looks in a good bit of discomfort. And out towards Helena Rowland now. And they rumble in towards the 22, and Packer going back down the blind side, and Aoife Wafer. That might have been it was a knock on. I thought could have been an early tackle against Aoife Wafer, but Ireland have the scrum advantage. And Maloney standing in a scrum half, gives it to Aaron King, and it's just maybe a little lack of communication now at this stage.
You know, that's what happens when fatigue sets in. Your communication drops naturally, and then those disconnects, things get sloppy. We're not seeing that sharpness that we saw, and I think that's understandable, the pressure and the defensive shift that they put in, going down to 14 players, leaking a few tries that just gave England that confidence, and then once they start, they get on a roll.
Well, Ellie Kildun stayed down for a few seconds after that tackle by Stacey Flood, and she's back on her feet now, but she still looks in a little bit of discomfort, kind of stretching out a leg ever so slightly. I don't know if you were John Mitchell with 7 minutes left in this game and a 42-5 lead, would you risk going down to 14 players and just get someone like Ellie Kildun off the pitch?
I don't think he's going to, no. I think he'll respect the fixture, and I don't think he'd do something like that.
Strong carry gets Ireland out of the 22.
Taken back.
When she was receiving it.
In 5.
And again, they set up them all as they have their sights set on getting within a score of that 50-point mark. Not sure is there a penalty advantage coming their way, but a grubber through the middle, and Aoife Dalton manages to ground it. And it's going to be a goal line clearance for Ireland. Apologies there if you heard any industrial language. As Fowley drives it straight down the pitch. And England will run it back. They're starting to enjoy themselves. Big moment for Kelsey Clifford, given her chance today in for the injured Mackenzie Carson. And the props are taking over in this second half. 3 tries between them off the bench.
Things you love to see. But again, it comes from England looking to move the ball. They moved into wide chance. This is really good for Matchison. And then poor missed tackle there really from Ireland, but that's a fatigue thing setting in, and Clifford, big strong prop. Grace Moore should have made that.
And as we see, this time it's Holly Atchison knocking over the conversion. And while we wait for the restart, Fiona, I might give you the opportunity to reveal I might give you the opportunity to name your Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match.
Yeah, look, I think Ireland's defence was absolutely outstanding in the first half, but England stuck in it, came in, and I have to give it to Maud Muir. She had 9 carries, 77 metres, 10 tackles, but also how devastating she was at the scrum. And that's when they came into the fore, when Niamh Jones ended up going off. So today's Guinness Six Nations Player of the Match is Maud Muir.
Goes to show when you're a prop, it's the scrum penalties that matter, not the tries, isn't it, Fiona?
That is it indeed. But it's also props being taken off at 50-odd minutes. Like, they're never going to get Player of the Match unless a prop is picking them.
49-5, England lead Ireland with 3.5 minutes left to go. Is there one last shot in Ireland though, just to head down to Newport next week on a little bit of a high and finish on a high note? They haven't had any real attacking opportunities in this second half. But this time Maloney finds Ruth Campbell in the line out, and Aoife Wafer breaks it out to Brittany Hogan, getting up towards the 22. It's been a while since they were within reach of that. And Niamh O'Dowd now. She's had her struggles in the scrum, but she's been everywhere in the loose. And Riley to Fowley. Quick hands to Erin King. Again, Dan O'Brien has knocked forward by Ellie Kildun. That's going to be a penalty.
Deliberate.
Might get the benefit of the doubt for the potential yellow card, though.
I don't have a lot overlap. Yeah. It's deliberate.
I think Amy Lee was certainly right to ask, because it looked like the hand was down, slapping down as opposed to up. See it again here.
How realistic was the intercept?
I suppose her hand was kind of to the side. Was she then in position to maybe regather it? Look, penalty Ireland anyway, so.
If you or I were reaching like that, we'd be saying deliberate knock-on, but I think when it's Ellie Kildun, you give her the benefit of the doubt. The line-out doesn't go to hand for Ireland, and it's England now. We're going to try run this one out again, and Meg Jones, who's been brilliant in this second half, shifts it on down towards this near touchline, and Amy Lee Costigan, who's been tireless for Ireland as well, and has covered some serious ground on defence. Back up to make another tackle as well. 90 seconds left. I'm sure England will really want to break the 50-point barrier, just as Ireland were so desperate to do it last time out against Italy in Parma, and they're going to target this near touchline. There's another excellent tackle in there for me for Dalton, and Packer, who provided a great impact off the bench today, gets it back to Atchison and into the middle of the pitch, and Cliona Maloney gets in and thought for a second maybe she might have had the turnover, but it doesn't come to pass. Harrison to Matthews. There's an Irish body in there on top of it. And Slow coming out. We head down in towards the final minute. Kelsey Clifford. Packer and Abby Ward and Kildun now on this near touchline. Christy Haney in to chop her down around the knees. Ireland's line holding, but England do have numbers. And they get the offload right through the middle and sprinting clear. And the offload go, but it's an excellent tackle from Higgins, who I think tried to play that one on the ground, but England are going to move this again down towards the near touchline. Roland Funati getting England into the 22. 30 seconds left in this game, and England pushing for one final try to bring this up into the 50-point barrier. But it's picked up by Ireland, and sprinting away is Eve Higgins. And now she just looks for the contact and dunce one of the English players down onto the ground. High line from England. It's getting a little bit sloppy in these final 5 seconds, but both teams want to finish this game on a high. Aoibhinn Riley out towards Stacey Flood. There's hands in there from both sides. Both just told to leave go of it. Riley gets it back to Cliona Maloney now. Byrne thought about going for the ball, just went around the corner in the end, and Ruth Campbell again, and it's Clifford who had a go at the ruck. Dalton, it's a huge tackle from Aldcroft, who's flattened the Ireland centre. But with the clock in the red, Ireland are refusing to kick this one out. Desperate to just finish on a flourish. And Dow get a good clearance. Again towards this near side, and Costigan's in a bit of space, but well recovered by Abby Dow, and there it goes forward. But England are going to run this one again. Ireland don't have to stop. Kick downfield, and it's going to stay in field. There's more life left in this game. Does Stacey Flood decide enough is enough and just kick this one out? She's kicked it. Has it gone out? It has, just about. And there it is. Well, it was a brilliant first half, and Ireland put up one mighty effort. But England showed in the second half just why they are the best team in the world, Fiona.
Yeah, they were really impressive in that second half. I think the card really was a huge kill for Ireland. Just allowing England to get that confidence up, start the scores coming in, and they just didn't really stop from there. And they worked through their phases. They used their big ball carriers. They looked to get the ball into the wider channels. Meg Jones was instrumental in the second half, looking to move that ball, and it shows why they're one of the best teams in the world, that they can weather that storm of Ireland in the first half and then just turn it on in the second half. But I said from the start, I thought their bench were going to make a huge impact, and I think Packer as well certainly sped up the ball.
7-5 and 1 try apiece at half-time, but England proved why they are the best team in the Six Nations after that. It's finished in Cork. England 49, Ireland 5. Well, we thought we were going to have an incredible thought we were going to have an incredible second half on our hands, but England came out flying after the second half. 6 tries in the second half, 3 of those to front row replacements. Maud Muir getting a couple. Kelsey Clifford in on the act as well, and Meg Jones. And it was the scrum where England really dismantled Ireland. Six scrum penalties against Ireland in total. And England moved back to the top of the Six Nations table, ahead of France, who comfortably beat Wales this afternoon. And Ireland look ahead to Wales next week, visiting Cardiff. England taking on Scotland as they look to move one step closer towards a 7th title in a row.